Hi, my name is Kula Fofana. I'm from Liberia. Liberia is a country in West Africa that went through a period of 14 years of civil conflict. So, for the most part of my growing up years, have been in war, displacement, refugee, ceasefire, and just everything in between. So there was this constant time that we had serious depression, anxiety, panic attack, and just it was just by the grace of God that we made it out. There were times where you will see where the safest place you thought it was. Just down the street, there will be rackets. I mean, like bomb, killing people, whole families will die, people that you know, people you play with, friends, and all that. So growing up was never an easy thing. While we're dealing with depression and anxiety, most of the places that we lived, there were refugee and there were Sunday societies. So there was aspect of FGM. There were early marriages. We also had to do with poor nutrition. Um, how did we deal with all those situations? Well, we just have to deal with it. Thinking about it now, there was nothing we could do about it. We just have to deal with it. Even with the aspect of FGM, where girls were going to the Sunday bush, and um, there was a system of class, so when you're not a member of the society, they look down upon you as someone who is less of a class and not part of their system and all that. And even your friends will be calling you names. But the good thing about myself and my family was that despite the fact that my mom and her generation, her sisters, relatives, went through the traditional society, um, but for her, based on her education, it was a no-no for her daughters and her children, people who were closer to her, were not going to be a part of the Sunday society. So we couldn't go. We didn't go. But many of our friends went. They even looked down upon us and all of those things. Even for early marriage, we know relatives and friends who got married at a very early age, teenage pregnancy. Oops, it was like, yeah. And why did I feel I had to advocate for these things? Well, for me, it was my curiosity, and also some questions that I didn't have any answer for. There was some question I would ask, I won't get any answer. So I thought that why was these things happening? Just the why, and no one would give me any because of that was reasonable. So I thought that, well, if I'm gonna die anyway, I'm a young person, and let me just add my voice to these existing voices to say, why don't I say something? Why don't I do something? Even if it's just talking, even if it's just yelling, just to advocate that this is wrong and let's do it right, or you can do something about it. So we started working with people, organizations to speak up against these issues. Sometimes we received institutional support, but for the most part, we only had families and friends and peer groups who will come and support us. But specifically on anxiety and depression, even up to today, sadly, there hasn't been many. Since the end of the war, there hasn't been any institutional structure to be able to deal with this thing. Even up to today, I still have panic attack. For example, you would think it's funny where when there are firecrackers, unknowingly to myself, I would just get panic attack. I would be like shaking. Like thinking that there's some war or some bomb or something. Yeah, so I had to deal with those, and I'm still dealing with it. So what would I say to young people who may be going through these things? Well, first and foremost, if you are going through any of the situation, whether it's depression, anxiety, you're getting panic attack, it's FGM, early marriage, teen pregnancy, firstly, talk to someone, call someone. And the good thing about today, we live in an era of social media. Send someone an inbox. If you don't have access to internet, I mean, we know it's easily said and done, but find a means to share. They say a problem half shared is a problem half solved. You don't have to deal with it by yourself. You don't have to do anything to yourself in trying to escape from it, because you know why? It's harder to escape. Talk to someone. I mean, and today is far better than yesterday. Like the era we grew up in, it was so hard. I can tell it was so hard. It still is hard, but today you can reach out to someone and someone will be willing to help you. So reach out. Don't keep it to yourself. You may have answers waiting for you. Thank you.